The common trope that a lot of conservative pundits, especially Vivek Ramaswamy, will constantly push is the idea that the nuclear family is the best form of governance. The idea that in order to have a prosperous society in America, we need a man as the head of the household with a woman and a couple of kids. Picture that classic suburban house with a lawn and, the golden retriever playing catch with the kid. Just that 1950s suburban, family. That's the key to success in this country, and the reason why, we're failing is because of it. Although I tend to disagree on that in many aspects, I don't think that is the answer. I don't think going back to what worked before necessarily is the correct thing to do because we live in such a different country than we do today. Unless you're willing to get rid of all the technology, culture, customs, I don't think we can go back to a strictly nuclear family system. And that kind of brought me the idea of like why we as teenagers especially have such a hard time with the idea of maintaining a relationship. Marriage, the age of marriage has gone up, the number of kids have gone down, and the divorce rate has gone up as well. And, it's not just a mere coincidence. I think that a big factor for me is the idea that we now live in a non religious environment. And it's not the problem that the belief in God, whether or not God exists, that is interrupting the idea of a relationship. It's just the fact that, back in the day, when you were at your lowest, when you were at your worst, you had someone, you had God, this, all knowing, most merciful, all great, never mistaken person that you could put your emotions to, that you can count on, that you can rely on. However, that is not something that is very apparent today. With that lack of belief in God, a lot of people tend to put that onto another person, especially their significant other. When we are not successful, when we are sad, when our desires are not fulfilled, we tend to put that energy onto someone else, and I don't think that's the proper way to approach it. Um, and then you can look at the philosophy behind it. What are the differences between men and women, especially when it comes to the idea of relationships? Men. Um, a lot of philosophers agree with the notion that men see a successful relationship as the end goal of a successful career. I have to work my butt off, get a good job, make it out, drive a nice car, own a good house, and then I can have that woman of my dreams, and everything will be just okay. For women, a lot of philosophers think that settling down with a man is that ticket, that key to liberation, that key to freedom. Like, okay, once I have a man, I'm able to pursue what I want to pursue. Things are settled. If I want to have kids, I can have kids. So, where women may see it as a prerequisite, men see it as a reward. And you can see now where these, sort of ideas clash. And I'm not saying that this isn't inherently true. This is just what the current school of thought is. Um, and that kind of circles back to the idea that we as teenagers, we're more depressed than we have ever been, more isolated, more on the internet. Um, I just find it strange in a world where, it's not considered as socially acceptable to approach someone of the opposite sex. You gotta add them on Instagram, slide into their DMs, snap them, and then progress your way up to doing something like that. Just these norms and customs, I think, also make it difficult. Kids are going out less. People are drinking at an older age. Not to say that that's a good or bad thing, but that just shows how less socialized we've become. kids are picking up, vapes at such an early age to cope with that idea of depression. And, we're not given the fruits of what a relationship can be, just the idea of, um, you know, that constant feedback loop of just, you know, that that buzz when your girlfriend or boyfriend snaps you back, or those things like that. It feels good for a little bit, and once reality comes back into place, then you just want more. So it's almost the idea of a relationship has almost been engineered to be an addiction for us, and I definitely don't think that's a good thing. But I'm not all cynical about this. I think there is hope, and I think there is a path moving forward to the idea that a successful relationship to me is simply one that is open in terms of communication, maybe not taken too seriously. Um, you know, you don't. I think with this whole quote unquote engineered form of love, we tend to make it a reliance that we need love to make us feel complete. And I think straying away from that, you want to be needed. You want to be someone who is relied on, not the other way around. You don't want to be needy. So, in the sense, instead of putting all your energy, all your problems, all your shortcomings, everything falls on the back of one other person. I think a better way to approach it is, you know, you and your significant other are working to attain a goal that you may both share in common, whether it's career wise, you know, whatever that goal may happen to be. And I think that is the ultimate key of success. And I see my friends and people around me who have successful relationships. That's the common pattern I notice is find a goal, find a purpose that you and your significant other cling to and make that your priority. Don't make your priority, about leaning yourself onto the other person, and because unfortunately we are not God, we are not all perfect. The person you lean all your energies to is someone else who is prone to mistakes, and that's fine because that's just part of being human. But other than that, I've been rambling on way too long. I still think love exists, and um, you know, I think love is the answer. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy your day. I will see you tomorrow.